Alright, and so for the first demonstration, I'm just going to be joining both of these wires together. There's nothing really special about them, they're just stripped. I'm going to show you how to pre-tin these and then join them together. So there's two different ways you can really join these together. You can either lay them one on top of the other, just like so, just kind of like overlap them, make sure they're kind of straight, and solder them together. For some very small wires and in some situations this is easiest, and it's also very strong, but probably the strongest way to do it is to take both of them, and I'm not sure if I can get this on camera, but basically you just twist them together, you overlap one over the other and bind them together until they are overlapped in such a way that they are already joined together, and you know, they don't even need solder to stay together. This is probably the most secure way. You know, if it's going to be under any tension or anything, you'd probably want to do it this way. This is the way I do most of my wires, just for peace of mind. And so let's get onto it. So first, I'll just show you this way because I already have it together like this. One very helpful tool for this is the third hand tool. This is a lifesaver. Basically, you're able to clip both your separate things together and it holds them for you. That's especially helpful for that other way I was showing you, where you lay one over the other, and that makes it worlds easier. So I'm just going to put this in here. Makes it much easier for you to focus on with the camera too. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. There we go. Alright, so now that that's all set, I have my soldering iron preheated. It's all good to go. So then what you're going to want to do is you take your solder, and I really like this really thin stuff because it's much easier to work with. It also melts a lot faster. So if you're using a new iron, you want to make sure that you pre-tin your tip. This just adds a little bit of solder to the tip and allows it to bond much easier and transfer the heat much easier to the joint that you're working on. So then what you're going to want to do is preheat the joint, and then add solder to the top, to the other side, to make sure that the metal is all heated up. And you just keep adding solder until you see it flow nice and even throughout the wire. Just like that. And you're done. Now, a lot of people will take this, and I mean, you can roll it over and check the back of it and make sure that this is all, you know, it's soldered all the way through, and then if you need to, you can just add a little bit more. You just, once again, you heat it up, and then you can kind of apply the solder at the joint right between the iron and the wire, and sometimes for thicker wires you need to do that to get the process kind of started. But other than that, that's all there is to it for joining them like this. Alright, so now that we've joined them together like this, I'm going to take these ends, strip them, and I'll show you how to solder it the other way. So you can use any pair of snips or anything for this. You basically just need to score the insulation, not the wire. So you want to just make a small cut on the insulation, and then usually if the insulation's soft enough, you can just grab it with your nail and then just pop it off of there. And then you just strip the amount you need off. This thing would come off for me. There we go. And then this is a little much, so if you find that you stripped off a little too much insulation, you can always just clip off a little bit of the wire that you don't need with your snips. So for this, this is usually my ideal length, somewhere around here, for soldering them together. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's a little hard to see on the camera here. And then what I'm going to do is do that to the other side. Just there we go. Just going to take it, apply your solder to both of them, and then you basically just want to make sure that they're close enough that they're both going to get the solder on each other, and then just wait for them to kind of bond together, and then you are all good. You have a nice, strong bond between them. And like I said, solder itself is pretty strong. There you have it. And then I'll show you some through-hole stuff when I get my next project in, which will be a LCD monitor, probably. and then I'll be able to put that on there. So, thanks for watching, and